What is going on, guys? TalkNorwichCity here, back for another video. I hope you guys are doing really well as always. A big thank you for the recent support on all of the videos. Once again, you guys are smashing it. 100 likes on every video pretty much now, which is absolutely brilliant. It shows the growth and it shows the potential of this channel and also how great you guys are. So a big thank you for that. Let's get straight into today's video then. It's a bit of a debate. It was actually started, a few people talking about it on Twitter, a couple of people I follow. Should we sign Mbokani on a permanent deal? I think everyone had kind of written Mbokani off before the second half of the West Brom game and the Newcastle game especially. But then performances, people are starting to think, hang on a minute, Mbokani's actually got something here. And yes, he's getting on a bit, but for $5.5 million, could possibly be a good option. I've always liked Mbokani when he first came in. He was something a bit different. He looked angry, he looked aggressive, and we've kind of missed that player for a while. We had Ricky van Wolfswinkel, the fresh-faced superstar that everyone thought. It never worked out for him, although he still is at the club, but it probably won't work out for him now. But Mbokani was different, you know. He had an edge to him, and his movement really hit me. I think his debut was against Bournemouth when we beat them 3-1, and it just hit me as how good of a mover he was and how big and strong he was. But let's get into your guys' thoughts. I put it out on Twitter. Alice Walker says, I wouldn't. He's 31 this year and hasn't been the most consistent. If he carries on playing last week, though, perhaps. So, you know, that performance has certainly swayed a few people's opinions, and rightfully so. Barry at Bazza Howard said, would rather go for someone like Bamford. I'd love to sign Bamford on a permanent deal. I think he would be pricey. I know there's a few tweets coming up that talks about that, but I'd love to get Bamford in for sure. Lewis at Lewis_NUFC, so Newcastle United fan, says he was very good against us. Our defenders had a nightmare trying to contain him, and that was certainly a positive. Obviously his best performance in a Newcastle shirt, but when the opposition fans start taking note, that's when you know that they're really making an impact. I hate when Norwich play against teams when they have a big, powerful striker. We've really struggled against them kind of players in recent times, and you know, we can contain players like sort of Aguero sometimes, but when they're big and strong, that normally seems to rustle teams' feathers up, and Mbokani does that when he's on form. Tommy says, absolutely, we would need a first choice as well, but for £6 million you'd struggle to find better. I kind of agree with Tommy here. I think, yes, we do need a bigger striker to come in, one who will score you maybe 15 goals a season if we're looking to step up, if of course we stay into this league, which is of course a big if at the moment, but I'm talking about this if we do stay in the Premier League. And I think Tommy's got a good point here. For £6 million, or less than £6 million, but I suppose it would be $6 million after the wages and everything, it's going to be tough to find a striker, and especially one that will be settled as well, because if you buy a new striker in, yeah, they've got the pre-season or whatever, but you've got to settle, you've got to adapt to the English game. And Mbokani's done that now. He's 31 years old, yes, well, coming up to 31 years old, probably only got a couple of seasons left in him at peak sort of in his prime, but if you get 2 seasons out of him where he scores 10 goals each season, that's enough to keep you in the Premier League. And if you then buy another striker who's maybe £15 million, who can score you 10 goals, 15 goals a season, that's when you start to do good things. So yeah, good point there from Tommy. Luke Seaman says 100%, not always the hardest worker, but when he is at his best, definitely worth the $5 million. I think Mbokani has a very, very tough job up front on his own, like any striker, but especially in this Norwich City team when we're defending for large periods of the game. When that ball gets hoofed up to him, he's got 4 defenders surrounding him, and he's got to try and hold that ball up, move it on, and then sprint into position again. That is very, very tough, and I think we underestimate the work that Mbokani has done for us in some games this season. The West Brom game highlighted just how good he is at times. In that second half, he controlled it. He brought defenders out of position, he held the ball up so well and then moved it on so beautifully. The goal we scored at West Brom all came through Mbokani's hold-up play and movement off the ball. I think Mbokani is a really, really decent player. Chris Parker says, I'd give it till the end of the season to see what his goals tally is. If it's about 10, then it's respectable. Any less is meh. So what Chris is saying here is he's probably got to score another 5 goals, which is going to be tough in, 7 or 8 games. I think if he scores a couple more goals and continues with this performance rate and brings value to the team, then I think it would be the wrong decision not to buy him on a permanent deal. Jack Holmes says he's the sort of striker that we've been missing, and even with his age, he's still got seasons left. Definitely worth it. So as Jack said there, he's probably got a couple of good seasons left in him. Mick, who's a Chelsea fan, who's a great guy, he put, in my humble opinion, no. Depending if you survive, with more funds, you'll attract better in terms of quality and age. That's something we've got to look to. We can't stay on the same level. We need to keep upgrading. And I think sometimes we get caught up in emotions, and I don't know what it is. Like you feel like you want to keep the players because they've been there for a season. Sometimes you've just got to be ruthless and try and bring in other players. Like Mick says there, if we stay up, lots of money coming in next season, you've got to go out and try and find a better player. But at the same time, Mbokani's settled. He's learning English. He'll learn his teammates. He knows Malumbu really well. Seems like he gets on with the other players really well. And you know, I don't know. I think it'd be nice to keep him, but obviously he needs to keep the performance rate up because performances is what gets you contract. I'm going to put loads of others on the screen from what you guys sent in, but the general opinion is if he continues on this form, keep him. And I think that's my opinion as well. If you know, Mbokani's been on and off all season. Most players were off when we went through that 11-game unbeaten run, but I suppose quality does shine through. If he would have scored a couple of goals in that to break us out, that's when you really sort of set your value. But I think £5 million isn't too bad for a player like Mbokani. He's played in the Champions League, he's played in Europe, and now he's scored a few goals in the Premier League. So that'd be really good. Leave me your thoughts on Diamersi and Mbokani. Would you like to see him sign on a permanent deal this summer? Feel free to put any other thoughts on Mbokani. Do you agree with me? Would you like to get him, or would you not want to sign him and sign someone else instead? Thank you so much for watching this video. Please do leave a like. It'd be great to hit 100 likes once again. Hit subscribe, share this with your friends to get all the Norwich City fans on board. Thank you so much for watching, and peace out.